Chris, good evening. Would you be able to give us an update on some of the injury concerns for Mahesh Deekshana? He joined in Delhi only. Kusal Janitra and Dasun were rested for the second warm-up game. Is all 15 players available for selection?
No, at the moment, Deekshana is still recovering from a hamstring injury, so he won't be available for this game, but we expect him to be available very soon. The rest of them are fine.
Chris, about the conditions here, what is the impression, how does the pitch look like, and what would you expect from it?
I expect it to be a very good pitch. Speaking to, obviously, Mahela, who has got good knowledge, obviously, the wickets around here, and speaking to the curator last night and looking at the wicket, it looks a good wicket. History tells us that it's likely to be a high-scoring game. And you're looking at the size of the boundaries, I would expect it to be a high-scoring game as well. So, for me, I expect it to be a belter.
This coming here after the debacle of the final in Asia Cup, and the form of your captain has been quite poor, and injury concerns. So how do you see this tournament panning out with beginning from tomorrow's match?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we've prepared to the best of our abilities. We've been trained very well since we've been here, had some great facilities. From a team point of view, we know on our day we can go toe-to-toe with anybody. So we prepare in exactly the same way all the time. And, I mean, injuries, they happen, and we have to deal with them, the same as any other team does. But we know, given the right conditions, given the right day, we can go toe-to-toe with anybody. So we'll be going out there, I mean, looking to win, as always, but we expect a very tough game tomorrow. And we know there's some very tough games leading, I mean, during this tournament. And I think, although everybody talks about the final in the Asia Cup, we played some very good cricket to get there. And we got there despite people not thinking we could. So actually, we know we can play some good cricket.
Hi, sir. So, Nissanka's form Nissanka hasn't been among big runs. You know, there were some couple of 40 odd here and there in the Asia Cup. So is there any message for him? Like, is there any talk with him regarding the form or batting or any special preparations?
Nissanka? Yeah, no, nothing to be honest. What we have had is some good starts. If we look back from the World Cup qualifiers to where we have now, we've had some solid starts from the top of the order. I think the one thing that we need to capitalise on is those solid starts and obviously go big towards the end. So that's one area we have been working on. And it's certainly not a secret that that's something we've been working on. But I think the top of the order, they've done a solid job for us so far, and I expect them to carry on doing that.
Chris, you're not a Sri Lankan, but what do you think it would mean to the people of that country who've had some tough times of late but have known cricket glory in the past? What do you think it would mean to Sri Lankans for the team to give a good account of themselves in this tournament?
I think for a country it would be huge. I certainly know, sat in the dressing room, all the players in there feel the pride that comes out of the country. They feel the support that comes from, I mean, the great people that are sat there supporting us. And equally, when we're walking around in Colombo, everybody wants to talk cricket. So there is so much love for the game, and I think it would be huge if we could put a good show on here for them and bring a smile back to the, into the country's faces with what we're trying to do.
Chris? Something on Pathirana. Obviously, there's always a mood around the cricket world that people are opting for T20 leagues, and when someone like MS Dhoni in public says that he shouldn't even be considered for ODI cricket, how do you keep the team together and motivate these youngsters from Sri Lanka when the lure for money and IPL is so much bigger, and someone like MS Dhoni suggests in public that he shouldn't be playing ODI cricket? So how do you get the players in the mood for World Cup, ODI World Cup like that?
Well, I've not read that, what MS has said, and so to be honest, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's got nothing to do with us. But what I will say is somebody like Pathirana is a very exciting young talent, and he's got a lot to showcase in 50-over cricket as well, and I think it'd be wrong to deprive him of that opportunity. And I think it'd be wrong for us not to have him out there and let this, the Sri Lankan people see what their young, talented cricketers can do out on a cricket field. So for me, I get very excited about the young talent coming through. Not just him, we have other youngsters as well. And I think it's great that we can give them a stage to go show off on. So for me, they go out there, they spread their wings and fly, and let's see what they can achieve.
Sir, my question from you is, Yes, sir. My question is to use that. Like Sri Lanka is known for their orthodox bowlers and all. So how is the being the coach for them? You how to handle them? Like the being you want to them to be in traditional or whatever they are doing since the childhood. You want you to do them like that. Like any type of strategy you keep on suggesting them, or you want them to play freely.
From them being unorthodox, I think from my point of view, it's a great learning curve for me as well. To get away from the orthodox bowling action to see something like Patarana, for me it was, okay, how do I work with this guy? What does he want from me? And it's been a great journey so far. And I find myself listening to him a lot because I'm not going to tinker with his action. It's his own, it's his, and it works for him. For me, it's about teaching him how to, bowl now in ODI cricket and look at angles and things like that, but no way am I going to try and change his action, because the last thing I want to do is take the X factor away from him, and that's what he's got X factor.
Sir, my question from you is, how crucial Donit WELLALAGE will be in absence of Wanindu Hasaranga? As an all-rounder, how much his role has changed, or has it become any larger due to absence of Hasaranga?
Well, to be honest, Donif has shown us what a good young cricketer he is, and he's got an old head on young shoulders, and I think he's played his cricket with maturity so far, and I think he's showed his worth with bat and ball, and in the field as well. He's a good young fielder as well. We're not going to put any more pressure on him than that, so for me, he goes out and he plays his way. He knows his role in the team, and he's very happy with that. So for me, it's about not putting pressure on these guys, it's about taking pressure off them. And I want him to go out and enjoy himself and show the rest of the world how good he is. And if we can do that and give him that freedom, I think we'll see the best of him.
We'll take last couple of questions.
Chris, the opening combination, what's your plan going forward? And also you tried Dimuth in the middle order as well during the warm-up game. Any thought of playing him there?
I won't be telling you our combinations before tomorrow. Nice try.
Hi Chris. Chris, this isn't the strongest Sri Lankan group when you compare it with the past Sri Lankan teams, but somehow you managed to win the last T20 Asia Cup last year, and you managed to make it to the final this year. So what would you say is the success mantra to when you make yourself on the ground with such a young team?
I think first and foremost it's creating an environment within the dressing room that these guys can talk, speak with freedom, and go out and play with freedom as well. And one thing I always try and encourage them to do is to find solutions to problems. Every day when you go into a cricket field, there is challenges, problems put in front of you. I want them to become self-thinking, self-sufficient cricketers who can figure things out on the field for themselves. And I think one thing that they have done is embrace that. And they've showed that every time they get a challenge put in front of them, they try their very best to find a way around it. And they've done it more often than not. You're not going to do it all the time, as we've seen. But I think the consistency will come in our team once we start learning to do that more and more and more. So